Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mega Scorchers, the main phase, your weekly source for all trading card game goodness. I am Mac19. I press buttons and things along those lines, and it's awesome that I do that, I guess. This is episode number 90. It's October 26, 2014. Forgot to say that last week, so remembering it this time. Doing those producer duties, you know? So that's how I gotta do it. Gotta earn that title. Join with me this week. We have these two awesome people. We have Nero. Hello, Nero.
Hi.
I like how you always have that magic box right there now. It's like, yeah, I play card games. I play good card games.
This is my workstation. It's messy.
It's messy. Oh, I like that. It's like, I do my show.
Whoa.
Some other people might like that you're messy too, you know? Aha. Oh, I don't have that sounder in here. I got to get that. I'll get it in here. While I'm doing that, we also have Walter joining us. Hello, Walter.
Hello there. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Not too bad. You know, just chilling. Doing a show. That's how we roll.
I don't think that's how that works.
We missed you last week on our epic return, but you're here now, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Better for you that you're here than you're not. So we're back again for another week. What do we got this week for you? We got some Magic goodness, some Yu-Gi-Oh goodness, and some Pokemon goodness. All that sort of stuff. We got some mixture news and the stuff we're going to talk about, state of the game, stuff like that. And only one thing for Pokemon really happened, but we'll get to that later. And I'll just say that Nero called it. You called it. Yeah. He's amazing. He's 2 for 2 now. It's 2 things he predicted correctly. It may have only happened months and months later, but it did happen eventually.
Finally.
But he did it. That's all that matters. Let's start this bitch off like we always do. What decks we've been playing lately and any cool games we played this past. Let's start with you, Walter, because we haven't heard from you in a while. What decks have you been playing? What have you been playing in this standard world?
Past 2 weeks I've been trying out, I guess it's pretty similar to the Sidisi Whip builds they've been seeing recently, the all-in Dredge build. I played a little differently, a little more aggressively, and don't go for the late game, but when I saw that like Sidisi Whip was starting to be like a thing that people are talking about, I was surprised. But yeah, it's been working out pretty well, actually.
Yeah, what can we say? Lifelink is an amazing mechanic, apparently, in the standard.
Yeah, they have saw the screen cap of the one game where it was like 118 to 60 in standard or something.
Wow.
I was playing game day and it was like junk mid-range, Abs in mid-range versus red-green monsters, and the guy's like, okay, I'll swing for like 30, and the other guy's like, okay, I'm at 60. Just like, what happened in this game?
I don't know. Stuff happens. Lifelink is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It is. How about you been playing, Nero?
Not card games.
Not card games. You've been playing them video games. You've been playing
playing Smash
shining.
Bros.
Getting ready for the console release.
Bayonetta 2. I've been playing a whole lot of video games. A lot of good stuff coming out.
Oh yeah.
We
just sit around the card shop between rounds and play Smash. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is.
It's all. You know, that's what's really cool. Like, as much as I don't like the 3DS version, but it's like at the end of the day, I always remember that. Oh crap! This is Smash Portable. This is amazing.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's inferior version.
I was expecting. So.
Just being able to play it portable is all you need. I don't care if it's fucking doesn't look as good. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And also kind of related to Pokemon TCG, Mewtwo has been announced.
Oh yeah.
As DLC, but that's whatever.
It's weird.
He's already got a trophy though in the game.
Yes.
He's not going to be ready until like next year. They were saying.
That's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
Like 2 weeks though.
Finally, we get DLC for Smash Bros. Something we've been waiting for.
It is cool though. Yeah, finally, like that's a thing. I can only imagine what they can do.
I know.
DLC
like I know this isn't the video game show, but I just want to say really quickly. Yeah, it's like I hate on Nintendo a lot. I do, but the one benefit of them being slow as fuck is that now they're gonna see all the mistakes people did with DLC, and they're gonna do it all right. Which so far they've done it pretty good. Although I've never liked pre-order stuff. So no matter what any company does, I'm never gonna like.
DLC. It's kind of weird.
No matter what, I'll never like anyone who does pre-order stuff. But at least they're doing DLC right so far. They haven't abused it yet, which is really good. Everything seems pretty fair, priced reasonably. It's actual content that extends the game and makes it better, not something that just seems like it was taken out. You know. So I had to give him. I had to give him props for that.
Some of the Hyrule Warriors stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. But
The
I'm
Dark
not.
Lake DLC pack, I think, was originally in that game.
Probably could have been. So I got to give him that. Mewtwo. Hashtag bring Mewtwo back actually worked. No, I don't think that. I don't know. Maybe Nintendo's paying attention. I like that they're caring more about the competitive guys. So that's it, huh? Just them
Mewtwo
games.
wasn't really competitive, though. He was just really good with items, and items are banned in most competitive gameplay, so...
It was
really...
the Smash community is one of the weirdly most vocal communities I've ever seen. When like I just see like the number of things that are like constantly asked for and people want and things like that. I was always surprised when I realized that like apparently people have been wanting like this person in for like a while, like a lot of people. And
And with
you
this,
know, 'cause
we
to me it just seems like a casual fighter, a casual party fighter essentially. I understand that it goes beyond that, but like that's how I tend to view it.
that's good. That's that now more than ever is there stuff just for casuals as well, which is really nice. One nice
bring
thing.
Snake back while we're at
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing. And now they're going to be doing DLC too. Well, fuck, we could see Snake or Ice Climbers come back. So people will
And
get
why did they take this Ice Climbers out? Why was it that?
because OP. Hello, an attack that
Yeah,
instantly
they-
wins you a game. Come on, it's like Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
It's
They
like
actually
Jigglypuff.
explained they couldn't make the
Jigglypuff
AI work on the
was
3DS.
It's
It was
probably
the
why.
3DS.
Yeah, that could be a legitimate reason why.
That's what they said. Like they said, legitimately, we just couldn't get the AI to work on the 3DS. Like it didn't work out, so we had to cut them from both.
We never know. One day we can see him back, exclusive for the
Yeah.
system. Who knows?
Yeah, I never know.
Never know. So since he's been playing them video games, I've been playing some actual games of cards.
Actually, I did play Cards Against Humanity, so...
Oh, there you go. That's you can technically trade some of those special packs and event packs. So there you go. I guess that's a trading card game. I've been nonstop been playing the Flareon deck for Pokemon. I've been seeing a lot of fucking decks, fun and competitive. The meta's kind of set in a little bit. Like when Puka won that, we'll talk about it later. When Puka won that freaking regional, everyone's been playing his fucking deck. I'm like, oh my god, at least I'm getting practice against this.
It's really fucking hard to beat. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
tell you
it's
that.
also a very skillful deck too. So it's like
Yeah.
you know what? He just
They
designed
can run
he knew the
themselves
meta.
into the ground.
What?
I like when the better decks are also hard to play decks, so that like it allows the opponent to essentially run themselves in the ground.
Yeah,
Like
kind of.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's a good. I think that's a good balancing thing for things that are clearly likely to be above. Is that they also have to be harder to pilot.
It's a reasonably harder. You could see that it's harder because if you look at his deck build, like his rationale and everything is obviously he knows the meta very well. He knows
You
what
have
he'll
to
be
make
facing.
the right choices at the right
Yeah.
time.
If you're actually a good player, anyone can pick it up. But if you're just an casual, you pick it up. You're not going to beat a better player if you were in the mirror. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you're definitely right. Like I agree. Decks that are relatively harder to play too are always nice. That's why I keep playing this goddamn Flareon deck. I gotta stop playing it. It can beat everything. It can. You just gotta have the right cards at the right time, and you gotta know what you're facing.
That's the same thing for every deck.
Well, this one it's even more apparent because if I don't read a deck right and I ditch one of my cards in the beginning of the game that I needed to beat the deck, then it sucks. So Pokemon is weird like that. Because the way it works out when you're always ending and junipering or sycamoring, depending on whatever you use, like when you're ditching your cards and refilling and what could get prized, you have to really think about what you're facing and what are the probabilities of like you're seeing another card again, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So Flareon's been
right.
holding up still well. I could get a little better each day, which that's my goal really. Churn out games, face different stuff, get better at it. I still make poor decisions. Oh god, one time I'm like, oh no, like I hate when I accidentally put the wrong energy down on something. I'm like, why'd I do that? Why did I do that? And then I waste my DCs when I don't really, I shouldn't be doing that. Like, because I only got 4 of them. And I'm like, oh, just pop it on this Pokemon that won't be attacking for like 5 turns. Why not? I have this problem because I always think that, I'm going to be Sycamoring next turn or something, so I'm just going to lose it anyway, so I'm going to put it on a Pokemon. But I realize then I should just put it down on the Pokemon when I do that because I might not draw that Sycamore. Like, I still make dumb mistakes like that, which I hate. Because DC is a very powerful card. You can't be wasting it. Especially with those fucking startling megaphones, is it? Or is it the enhance hammer? I think it is. Yeah, it's the enhance hammer. I think that kills the special energy attached to your Pokemon.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that deck's still been doing good. I think I might change up one. I think I might want to run an Evo Soda because that will make things a little bit more consistent. But I'm debating that because I kind of really like the ratios right now and how I'm drawing into everything.
Is that what you've been playing the most of Pokemon because you just love it so much?
I've been playing because Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't been like where Yu-Gi-Oh's going, so I've been playing more Pokemon and Magic lately.
You don't like that Fire Fist coming up?
That Fire Fist? No,
It's
no,
just-
no.
It's not Fire Fist. I'm sorry. What is really top? I forget.
Oh, what's coming up soon in the future? It's the Quifflets,
Oh yeah.
and then the Kneecloths, which are not called Kneecloths. Apparently, they're called E-Cloths or something. Fucking the N silent or something. I don't fucking know how to pronounce this shit. I just read the card. I'm foreseeing that future where, oh my god, like every deck I play, it has no chance. I would have to play the meta to even play officially. Like, yeah, you kind of have to do that now,
It's gonna
but
be Tier 0 coming up.
you never truly know. But we thought it was gonna be tier 0 this format as well with Shadows, but that didn't end up happening. So it could be. It's just, I don't know. It's just my decks will not be able to keep up with that meta, and I would have to. I literally would have to play the meta to do anything. So I'm
Swamp
just
Toad no longer do what he does best.
yeah. For Yukio, I've been playing Frogs. I've been messing around with Burning Abyss, trying to get Burning Abyss Monarchs working, which is already built out there for it, and that's what some people have been playing. So it's it hasn't been too hard actually, because it's already a deck that's pretty decent. I haven't found out what the ways I want it just yet, and if I have to play, I guess that would be the thing I would invest in real life to playing when that meta comes up. For Magic, I've been playing that Jeskai, the Jeskai combo deck.
The Jeskai combo deck.
I just been like, all right, I'm just gonna play this because there hasn't been a combo deck in Standard in forever.
There's actually another one. I just discovered this the other day. It's essentially a mono green infinite mana combo. If you have, it's basically because the card Singing Bellstrike, which is this common from cons that you only see in draft. It says 2 mana aura, enchant target creature, tap it. It can be untapped to pay 6 mana, and apparently, well, if you have like a way to produce 6 mana off a tap activation, which is reasonable in mono green, you make infinite mana. So like they have Karamicha's Acolyte. If your devotion is greater than 6, infinite mana on the
shit.
spot.
Oh man.
And there were like other tricks, like if you put it on your follower or your satyr, and you have a Shrine to Nyx, like if you could make enough to feed the shrine and the Singing Bellstrike, like it's another source of infinite mana.
Whoa.
Like me and my friends were deck testing this on like Cockatrice the other day. At one point, like I have him basically dead on board because I got like Hornet Queen and like a bunch of other crazy stuff. And it turns out like he Court of Calling at the end of his turn and like got the combo, and then on his turn, generating infinite mana, he Court of Calling again for Nylea. He's like, well, now my Plukernos has trample, and I'm about to make him infinitely big. So
And do infinite amount of damage to every creature.
exactly.
Interesting. See, with that kind of combo, you could just make a relatively good mono green deck and just try to have that
Yeah,
combo
exactly.
at your access.
Yeah,
Because
that's what we're talking about. Like basically, you can just make it essentially mono green, splashing blue and white, because white for the aura, and also Kuro's follower, or blue, and white for Pilgrim, who fetches you the aura. Heliod's
Amazing.
Pilgrim.
wow.
But otherwise, like you just play mono green devotion, which is a fine deck.
Wow,
It
that's
is.
not too bad right now at all, actually. So that's what I've been playing in Magic. I think I might go with some of this Jeskai token stuff I've been seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But-
I'm
tokens are
surprised
really
tokens are powering up. I was like, I saw people playing Hordling Outburst in Standard, and I was just like, what? Like, I know it's good with Rabble Master, but man,
Well,
when
there's no
did
real
like,
way to deal with tokens anymore, and there's no Ratchet Bomb. I mean, Blight's
Yeah.
the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head. I think there's a couple
Yeah.
others, but that's the big one.
yeah, I was surprised honestly to see. And then like someone was saying how they were just getting running over by basically like Mardu tokens too around like around FNM and stuff, and I was just like, man,
Mountain
I
Resistance,
didn't foresee that one.
Goblins.
Goblins.
Yeah.
Goblins. Yeah, because I really liked the Esper Control last format, and that was like a deck. It's so hard for me to find a deck that I like that I'll stick with, and I stuck with that for a whole format, which was amazing. I loved it so much. I just loved the way it played and everything. Like it felt my play style, obviously, because I guess I'm a control player at the end of the day. I'm either a control player or a green player where I just build stuff up and kill things. I don't know. But I've been playing the combo deck mostly because I was like, fuck, there's a combo deck at standard. Let me just play the shit out of this.
And it's really silly.
Yeah, it's
I think
kind
it
of
helps
difficult to
that
get off.
I help that unlike like in the modern variant where that deck can apparently like get you turn 2 with like no trouble,
Oh
I guess,
yeah,
where
I
they're
can't
talking about
imagine.
banning Ascendancy. But in like standard you have to play like Ornithopter and like stuff to make it work, and I think
Yeah,
it's
you
kind
gotta
of
have an
hilarious.
artifact that's 0 to bounce back. Yeah.
Yep.
I have plenty of those in my modern deck. I have
People have been
Darksteel's
playing.
relics and Ornithopters and
Oh
Mox
yeah.
Opals and Memnites. Plenty of 0
Hey,
taps.
Ornithopter, man, he was fucking. I think that was even a beta card. I think, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's that old, right? Shit, might be.
I
I'll
don't know
take
when
a
its
look.
first printing was actually.
Interesting.
Hold on,
But yeah,
I'll
he's
fix
old.
that out.
Like you can see the ones that basically look like the Da Vinci drawing.
The Da Vinci drawing, I like that.
Yeah, that's what the like original ones look like. Back in third, that's when he was first printed, I believe. Third edition. So, yeah, he just looked like a Da Vinci drawing.
I like what I was the one I have in mind is I have Tomb Script. That's the one I use for my artifact 0 drop
Hmm.
because at least it can do something if you want it to do something.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
I've seen people play Briber's Purse too in that build, which that one actually is pretty good because
How
it can
about
stall him out.
I think I pronounced this right. Astrocornucopia. How about that, huh?
That's
Play-
in standard, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You can play that.
I
Why
totally
not?
Forgot.
It's hilarious.
Forgot that wasn't Ravnica. That was Born.
Yeah, that
wasn't
I
it?
think that'd be cool. That'd be cute to play that. 'Cause people
Yeah,
would be
'cause,
like,
if you're behind, it can actually get you there.
yeah, it's so that they can actually do something. But I can understand wanting a flying body. That could be very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people out there who don't know what the combo. Actually, might as well just get to say the game. So the first deck let's just talk about the combo. So pretty much, to my knowledge, what it works. You gotta use your Jeskai Ascendancy, which it's a white, a red, and a blue. White, red, and blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Then you untap those creatures, and then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw a card, and if you do, discard a card. So that's what the card does. That's the card. So apparently, what you want is you need an artifact that's a 0 drop, and you got to use the Helix instant spell card. It says until end of turn.
Retraction Helix.
Yeah. Until the end of turn, target creature gets tapped. Return target non-permanent to its owner hand. And then I use the Sylvan Cattyard because that's a card that can
Yeah.
that's a card that drains mana and you can tap it and blah 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 blah. Use that.
Feels it pretty well.
So to my knowledge, the way it works is you gotta obviously do that, and then you're bringing back the crypt. So every time you recast the crypt, you get to draw a card, and then discard a card, and you're pretty much going through all the way through, and you're pretty much going crazy stuff with that shit. And I love
Supposed
that.
to make infinite sized creatures.
So you just
Yeah,
keep
the
getting
Caryatid
bigger and
became a
bigger,
good-
and then boom, creature's huge.
The Caryatid actually became a really good target for that because it's like the only way to do the combo undisrupted with a mana dork because he's hexproof, obviously, to the point where like they're playing him over other mana dorks in modern for that combo.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't know that part. It's pretty crazy. So that's pretty much how it works.
It works
And
way different in modern though.
oh yeah,
Basically, what they do is they just use 1-drop spells that say draw a card because you untap your guy, so you get the 1 mana. Like you just tap him again, and you cycle your whole deck essentially off 1-drop, draw a card, and infinite creature or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And you just fling it or something. I don't actually know how they
That's
win.
where fog comes in handy.
For standard, so pretty much you're in standard. All the builds I've seen, even my builds, just play that combo and play things to get to your combo pieces, like dig through time. Let's see, treasure cruise I think is one thing you could use. Treasure cruise, that's a good one. Fucking that delve ability, so good. Commune with the gods is another thing you do. Everything like that. So that's pretty much all the stuff that I use like that. And yeah, that's pretty much how you run the fucking deck. You gotta go to your combo pieces, and then you need a couple things to like, maybe you need a couple things in your sideboard, and maybe in even the main board to where you need to slow the opponent down, like what's it called, Crackling Doom or something like that. It's like a lightning bolt thing.
Crackling Doomer.
Yeah, I've seen people use that in like their sideboards and sometimes the main boards. Dragon Mantle, I've seen some people play that to just draw extra cards and stuff. The one thing I want to know is some people have playing what's that chick? It's a blue and a green, and it has the ability to untap another target permanent. Yes, I'm surprised people haven't used that. But for my reasoning why people don't use that is because it's a another card that you had to use two different colors, and it might be just easier to
Yeah,
play the
it's a little
Sylvan.
hard to cast in
Yeah,
standard actually without like hurting yourself.
yeah, especially in a combo deck when you need your mana when you need it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I have seen Swan Song being played because it's a
That's
cheap.
right.
Because
Well, that's
they
what
don't you don't care if
in
they get
modern
the.
for the modern version they just have a set of that in the sideboard because it's like the cheapest, quickest counter, and they don't care about your bird because they're killing you this turn.
Yeah, because their
Yeah.
guy's gonna be doesn't. Yeah, it's so big and shit. And that bird is so tiny, so tiny.
That's awesome card.
It is awesome. So this is combo. So this is the first time we have a combo deck in standard in a while. How do we
Yes.
feel about it? Do we feel it's it's surprisingly pretty consistent. When I play it, I get it off once in a while, pretty
There are
often.
easy ways to get around it.
I think it's fine in standard. I think it's like
I know.
it's not crazy enough in standard. I'm
There's
okay.
plenty of enchantment destruction
Every
for
now
just
and then.
ascendancy, so
Yeah. Every now and then there has been a combo deck in standard. You know, some silly things. There's the human reanimator couple in like the Innistrad one where you just got like all your humans back infinitely.
oh,
with
that
some-
was the aristocrats, right? With the
Yeah,
yeah,
with
exactly.
the Angel Glory Slice. Like they're tend to be even last year there was this really janky one with like Twin Flame and like infinite mana and then
Oh,
another.
wait, I think I
I
did
knew
hear
Twin
that.
Flame was a good card.
So like there's usually a combo deck in standard here and there, and it's like I'm fine with them existing because they're usually not crazy consistent like they can be in modern and legacy.
Mhm.
In modern and legacy though they become different deals. Like
That's all modern legacy is. It's
apparently, well I guess in modern this deck can get you like the Jeskai Ascendancy deck can get you turn 2 easily is what I've been hearing. I haven't
Well,
seen
it's
it in
relatively
action.
pretty consistent in standard, and when you go into modern, you got all those other spells that can definitely help make the deck more consistent. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I'm so people are saying like they're either going to ban Jeskai Ascendancy in modern or they're going to ban Glittering Witch, which is the only thing that really protects the combo.
Hmm.
So, and maybe they won't do either. Maybe the meta will just change, like it's going to have to because of Treasure
well, maybe
Cruise.
they'll just be happy to see finally Pod die and lose.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at a list right now from earlier this month, like first place in an MTGO event. It's just 3 sets of mana dorks, only 2 Jeskai Ascendancies, and then like every single spell that says draw a card for 1 mana, and that's all it. Yeah, I guess that's all they do.
That's all you got to do. You just have the combo, and they need the pieces to get to your combo.
Yeah, I think. Oh, you know what? Here's how they get you. I was wondering how they were going to get you, especially because they usually use Sylvan Caryatid, and this is the reason that banning Glittering Wish might make this deck okay. So Glittering Wish is green-white. Choose a multicolored card you own from outside the game, put it in your hand, exile it. In this case, this means grab a multicolored card from your sideboard. In this case, they grab Flesh, which is Flesh and Blood, which was basically a split card from Return to Ravnica that was like that was Fling essentially. So if they have Sylvan Caryatid out, like you're literally your only answer to this combo is to be able to counter Glittering Wish. So that's why they'll
Which is possible with Swan Song.
yeah, but that might be why like they might let Jeskai Ascendancy slip through the ban list just because like I guess they're okay with this combo deck existing, but they want to make it less consistent, or
You
they
know
might
what?
just or they might just decide they're not okay with it and ban out Ascendancy. We'll
Here's
see.
easier idea: unban Mental Misstep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do. But
I think Mental
that was
Misstep
something.
is well enough in modern myself personally, but I mean, you know, I guess Wizards thinks otherwise. I think it's like because sometimes there is literally like in modern with the power level on like a different curve than Legacy. Like there is literally no answer to them being on the play and thought seizing you and like literally just ruining your game sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why I think Mental Misstep is fair in Modern. The reason it wouldn't work in Legacy in the same way is because, like, in Legacy, literally 90% of everything costs 1, and every deck would just be 4 Mental Missteps, and, like, who drew Mental Missteps at better times? So that's why it's not okay in Legacy, but I think it's okay in Modern. Exactly. So
It's like the
that's
old.
why-
Oh no, it's not like that, but it's similar to like, hey, I'm gonna O-ring your O-ring type of thing.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
that's what everyone does.
yeah, I mean, I have Banishing Light at Banishing Light in Standard. You know, it happens.
It happens. You know, stuff happens when you party naked. You know.
Yeah.
Next deck, actually, I think it took a Grand Prix like this the whip deck. I call it the whip deck. Boom.
The whip,
Yeah.
yes.
Saltaire whip.
Mhm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You run 4 whip of Erebros. So you see your whip, and you abuse the whole coming back in, things getting lifelink
Yeah.
thing. And the big thing I see is you whip Erebos, a Hornet Queen, and then,
Oh yeah, I've done that.
yeah, that's the big game winner right there.
How I play it is because I made a list like this a little while ago, um, and Sidisi Brood Tyrant on her own is a ridiculous card because she says like make a token just for doing what your deck does anywhere up to like 3 times a turn sometimes. Like I have like played a Sidisi, gotten a token, she gets killed, and then next turn I activate my whip on her. So
She
she gets
comes
the
back.
token when she enters,
Yeah.
she gets the token when she swings, and then she gets the token when I cast my Wayfinder too. Like Sidisi is absurd. If you don't have removal as soon as she enters, she gets out of control so fast.
Yeah, and then when
That's why
you're
I think these decks are good.
yeah, and then when you're dropping things like Hornet Queen in your graveyard, Soul of
Yep. Yeah,
Innistrad.
it's just like, well, I'll run out of Sidisi's if you can somehow run out, like get past all these zombies, but then I'll just start hitting you with the big things.
What I like to see in the decks, like what I see, that Nyx Weaver, like that enchanted creature
Oh, yeah,
spider. I
that's
love
how we
seeing
go.
that. That card is so cool.
Hmm.
Like the whole point. It's like a better dredge deck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like the best dredge deck you possibly have. And it has the mana ramp too. It runs you run Mystic, Sylvan, Calvia. You run what is that? The Satyr. What's the Satyr do again? Whenever Satyr enters the battlefield, it's like reveal
Oh, yeah,
the top
he
cards of your
grinds
library or
deck
something.
4
Oh,
cards,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you grab a land of those. Which is
That's
kind of
4
funny about
strokes
that deck
fix.
is like you feel kind of shitty when he misses, like when you somehow don't get a land off the next 4 cards. But at the same time, you're like, well, he just put 4 cards in the grave, so now I'm gonna like treasure cruise on turn 3 or something, basically.
And Soul of
Which-
Innistrad, seeing that being played is amazing because, hey, people were hating on that card, but it was the only one that was like really the best.
It was the
Control
only one that had
value.
like control value, yeah.
And it's
It was
funny
just
how you
that-
just see 4 whips. Most people just play 4 whips. Instance, I don't really see much. I guess I've seen some hero downfalls and stuff, like just
You know how I play the brew? Honestly, I play no removal in the main board. I only have like, I have like some counter spells in the sideboard, but I'm just like, my thought on this deck is it gets so absurd so fast that you don't care about their problems. You make them care about your problems.
yeah, that's exactly how you should be playing it for sure. Yeah, I don't see many decks like when once in a while I see people have heroes downfall in it, and maybe like I don't even know if I saw it. No, there's no
I
way.
think that's just for Elspeth usually.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably
Like
it.
you can theoretically play Murderous Cut because you know you could just be like hitting the delve, but at the same time, then you're reducing your fuel for other things, and that's why I don't do it.
Yeah. Or people are playing that. Oh man, all these fetch lands. Everyone plays fetch lands.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about them is they suck in standard. They're so
They do.
bad. They
I
suck
know
so
they
bad.
suck.
I knew they
but
were
I
gonna
love them.
suck too. There's only 2 decks that are good with Fetchlands in Standard, and it's like those decks that abuse Courser. Like so, sometimes they'll be playing like Jund or Naya just so they get 2 sets of Fetchlands
Mhm.
in Courser because it lets them do crazy things with the top of their library, or the Delve deck. Like those are the only 2 scenarios where Fetchlands are good in Standard. Otherwise, their fixing is terrible. They kill you, and like you see people misplay them too is like you have to think about the simple math of like as far as your land counts goes, each fetch land essentially only counts as half a land because it obviously removes a land later, and if you crack it as soon as you play it, like and you only have 2 lands on board and 1 land in your hand, you just cut your chances to draw your 4th land that you need for whatever's coming up.
Yeah,
So-
Usually, you usually want to do that stuff like never when you first play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'll keep the 2 landers, and if one of them's a fetch, I'm just like, oh, this is just gonna be sitting in play until I draw a couple more lands. Like I'll put it down, but I'm not doing anything with it.
Yeah, and you always
No.
can, if you need to do anything, you can always do stuff in response. So
Yeah.
never gonna
Mhm.
risk
No,
losing
if
it.
shock lands were still in Standard.
I still love-
Different story.
I agree with everything you said, Walter, but I gotta say that the one Esper Control deck I made totally relies on having fetch lands. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, that's kind of true in the same scenario because they want the delve, but
yeah.
it's also risky because like,
Oh yeah, super.
it fixes their mana so poorly.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It totally is shitty for that reason. It is. Well, hey, when you
Double
don't got
blue for
shocks,
double blue for dig, double black for Bioblight, and double white for Elspeth. Like, how are you gonna do this? These fetch lands only getting you like 1 plains and 1 swamp.
yeah. Hey, when you don't have shocks, you gotta deal with what you gotta deal with.
Yeah.
Another deck I've seen doing some stuff is Mono Red Aggro, which I don't think
No,
anyone's
we
surprised because of
yeah,
Rabble
no one's
Master.
surprised.
I'm
That's
No
just
one's
sur-
surprised. But I saw it doing some stuff again this past week.
Zark on
So
Rabble Master. It's just gonna happen.
yeah.
I mean, you know what? They do play Rabble Master, but like it's mostly just one drops and two drops for this one.
I
It's
know.
weird because they just try to abuse like the prowess triggers or the heroic trigger off of Crone Crusader. I was playing a game last Friday. It was the only deck I lost to, and this is how it goes. I have a whip on board
Oh
and
God.
I have a whip on board and two blockers, and I'm at 13 life. He only has four creatures. He has like two Swift Spears, a Frenzied Goblin, and like a 2/1. And on his turn, he spends a minute like looking at it for like a bit and like counting numbers and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, no, I think I got you." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Hammer hand, hammer hand, hammer hand." I'm like, so his Swift Seers become 5/6s, and his other creature becomes like a 2/1, and his other creature is just like a 2/1, and my guys can't block. And, like it was literally the only scenario the deck could have done to beat me with the fact that I had blockers and lifelink, and
Oh my God.
it had like I was like, oh, I guess I lose because I didn't play around triple hammerhand.
Oh my God. Nuts.
And it was
Nuts.
exactly lethal too. Exactly
Nuts.
lethal.
Ugh.
Nuts stuff. I've seen a couple different versions for moving on to the next thing. The next version, like Jeskai tokens. I've seen that pop up. Yeah,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen so many different versions though. I don't really know what is standard version. I've seen people play Rabble Master, obviously.
Hmm.
Of course, you got to you raise the alarms. But other than that, I see a lot of different stuff. I see some people run the stupid king of Ouroboros. What's his name is Oracros. What the fuck his name?
Oh,
Cool
Brimos.
Tiger, Cat Soldier.
Bear Maz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen some people. Obviously they use the ascendancy, but they don't like use the combo per se.
Hmm.
They stoke the flames, stuff like that. But other than that, I don't really see like a lot of stuff changes, like the land stuff, like. But I just kind of like the whole idea that tokens could be doing something more and more now.
Hmm.
Really cool.
Especially, I mean, obviously, I was surprised that Whirling Outburst sees standard play even with Rabble Master, but I guess it's good enough.
Yes. Put one figure token onto the battlefield. Oh man, and Defiant Strike. I never thought that would do anything either. Like, hey,
You
he has
know
a plus
what?
one draw card. It's a draw card, I guess.
I thought Defiant Strike was pretty decent,
I
but
thought so
like
too.
I played with it, and it's just like honestly, this card answers every single thing that's a problem in standard except for
Ye-
one deck. Like the only deck that card's not good against is Jeskai aggro. Every other deck is just like either you don't care or it gets stroked, and
Yeah.
there's like nothing that can't be countered in standard. So
Yeah, so I thought the card was completely, it was bad. I was like, it's just a card that lets you draw one, but it's really good. That's something I was wrong about. I
I
tell
called
you,
that, didn't I?
you probably did. We'll go if you did, because we're just gonna assume you did.
Because I said that card was amazing.
That is good, but
this.
it's just like at the time, I didn't think it was good. I was like, it's just gives you plus one, draws one, but it's instant, and then hey, you never fully predict everything, I guess. And I've
This
been
is
seeing
also-
mana conflux be running in fours from now on. So
Mhm.
before I
It's a
thought,
little dangerous though. Still.
basically if you
Yeah.
play three color aggro, you have to be careful. Like you kind of need it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just you risk
That's
too
why
much.
mono red aggro can win so fast sometimes because
Yeah, 'cause
just
of how
getting so
many
much
games
life
you-
on just getting mana.
The deck, I guess this is slightly off topic because we weren't bringing it up, but you know what deck I hate was a thing for like a weekend?
What?
That blue-black control deck. I hated that deck.
Oh yeah, I heard that there was a control deck that was doing
Yeah, I
something.
know that one.
Like there's blue-white control, and I think that's fine. But you know what I hated about that blue-black control deck is their win cons are such shitty cards. I hate it. It's
What
like
were
they're
they? Because
playing
actually, I didn't see any builds or
Pearl Link
anything.
Ancient. They're playing Pearl Link Ancient. The
Oh
garbage
really?
deck of Cons of Tarkir, and I'm just like, no way. Like, I was literally talking to someone. He's like, dude, it's almost as good as Aetherling, and I was like, you need to get the hell out. I don't think this card is anywhere near as good as Aetherling.
It sucks.
Like,
Yeah, Earthling was amazing.
For like one day, Pearl Link Ancients were like $5, and I couldn't believe it.
$5. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're back down to
That
like
card's
$4
10
now.
cents. Cheapy rack.
I passed one in a draft that night, and I was like, "There's no way this card is $5. I don't even care. It's not gonna be $5 for long."
They said that about Pack Rat.
Yeah. Hey, he only costed 2. He didn't cost like 7, and just get blocked by Elspeth tokens anyways.
Yeah.
That's nuts that something like that happened. But whatever, like, hey, stuff happens. I've seen it in Yu-Gi-Oh where a weekend a card jumped up to like $30
Yeah.
just because fucking people were thinking it was
Something
the tech
weird.
card to have for that event.
Yeah, something weird like comes out of nowhere, and they're just like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god,
you might have
man!"
heard of this. Like, you guys probably remember DNA surgery, right? From back in the
Yeah.
day in Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, that card jumped up to like $10 to $15 at one point.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
that was
Playing
because
that
the
one.
weekend it's that people were siding it to stop a certain deck that was popular. So people were like, "Oh, I gotta buy him right now." So the prices went up like nuts. Really, it was really weird.
Oh, I do remember this card. This card is old. I just don't remember it ever being a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing
I-
for a weekend, and it got expensive. Nuts.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's pretty much the decks have been doing that I've seen pop up the past week, and then surprisingly, some of the stuff that popped up. Commander 2014, some stuff has been leaked early.
Yeah, they apparently how this went is basically some guy just happened to be perusing the site hoping for a new article, and someone posted like the wrong article for next week, like the for Monday when the spoilers actually start.
Yeah.
And the dude basically like grabbed it real quick before they took it back, and they're like, well, since the dude basically saw it, we'll just give you it anyways. And it spoiled a couple of the cards that are going to be happening in command. They spoiled the mechanic, and they spoiled one of like the legends that goes with the decks.
Yeah. So the first one with the angelic field marshal, or the new mechanic lieutenant. As long
Yep.
as you control your commander, the lieutenant gets +2/+2, and creatures you control have vigilance. This is really really cool. What I like
Yeah.
about this mechanic is it promotes. It could promote a whole changing way people play commander. Yes, people
Yeah.
bring out their commander, but this could promote maybe entice people to play their commander earlier, and maybe changes a
Yeah.
different early play commander type strategy. Because
Yeah.
even though this one isn't like this is a pretty good, but like there could be some lieutenants out there that will work way better with some other commanders.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you never know, like, how push this mechanic could be. Like, these cards are only legal in Legacy, so they can push these cards if they really want. Like, True Name last year was like, these cards are only legal in one format, so they don't have to care about balance that much.
Yeah, and it's really
I like-
interesting.
I like this card because my commander is Kala the Vast. I can put this out.
Of course you
With
do.
the angel effect.
Of course. The next we have what's his name? Feldon, the third path.
Feldon of the Third Path or something,
Well,
yeah. This is
He
a
makes cyborgs.
all the legends that are the backup commanders in the monocolored decks are characters from like Magic history.
Yeah.
And this guy has some cards in standard. I guess he was an artificer. And the concept here is the reason he does that effect that he does, where he basically like splinter twins in your creature, but it's an artifact from the grave, is because he rebuilt his wife as a robot after she died because he couldn't revive her, and then ended up destroying it because it wasn't the same.
I heard that this was a big lore guy too, and I remember the cane.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Mhm.
That was about it for me. The cane. The cane.
Yeah.
Awesome cane. But in terms of like his effect, he is a slightly
Less powerful splitter twin.
no, what's the other guy? It's a weird name guy. He's a goblin like Maddie, Maxie or something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
I'm trying to
Kiki
I'm
Jiki?
trying to get the right name right now.
Wait.
Okay, Koji Jaji Mirror Breaker.
Oh, Kiki Jiki.
Kiki Jiki,
Yeah.
is that how you say it?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
kinda like
goblin he
that.
reminded me of. He's a slightly less better version. The reason I think he's slightly less because he changes them to an artifact. But that's
Well,
other than that.
Cool is,
And one red smelt kills it.
well, that's cool is that he does this from your grave, which
Yeah.
is like a very interesting thing that Red
Like,
doesn't
he,
often
like-
care about your grave at all.
Oh yeah, the Kiki Jiki guy he only does
Scouts.
on the field. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's better and worse.
You
Uh-huh.
can thought scour or tomb scour yourself, like something really powerful into your graveyard that costs way later in the game.
Actually,
Bring him up.
debatably, he's better because if you think about this, he just sacrificed it, so it goes back to the grave. So anything that
Yeah, it's
triggers
weird.
go to grave will still activate, and you
Yeah,
can bring
it's
it back
weird
yet
'cause
again.
Usually these effects hose by exiling at the end, but he doesn't. So
yeah,
like
so actually he's better.
the guy basically says get an enter effect and an exit effect off a creature and an attack off it. Like
Actually, yeah, I'm changing
pretty
my
good.
word right now. I think he's better. Although he does cost you get to pay the 3, but
That's
3's
true.
not
Yeah,
that bad, I
yeah.
guess.
tabs.
Yeah.
Like Kiki Jiki costs 5.
Dude, he looks like fucking Santa Claus. Look at him. He literally looks like fucking Santa Claus
He
rebuilding his
built
dead wife.
toys, so
It's his,
Rebuilding his dead wife.
wife head, yeah.
he could make some toys then. I'm sure he could.
So that's really cool. They do this stuff with the lore.
Like they spoiled when they spoiled the like the two other ones a while back. It was Teferi pre-mending when he was still powerful, and then Gisa, which was like a lore character in the Innistrad block. You'd see her quoted on a lot of text. She makes zombies. She was a Stitcher. So like the other cycle of these cards are likely just to be other lore characters, but who knows what at this point because we've still got like blue, white, and green to go.
Oh yeah. So
And the walkers too. The walkers are like all old characters, so
yeah.
the same thing there.
In terms of commander stuff coming up, I think this lieutenant thing is the biggest thing that could shake up the format.
Yeah,
It actually could promote people changing the way they build their decks, which I really like that.
yeah.
Always.
So we'll see how it goes towards how much they want to push these cards. Because like, if Angelic Field Marshal was a card in Standard that instead of referring to your commander referred to like some card in your deck that you could
when you're
easily hit,
yeah.
you would absolutely see play.
Yeah.
Or like if your Devotion, basically,
Yeah, I was gonna
if your
say Devotion
away
probably.
is like 5 or greater or something, that card would probably see play.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Pretty nuts. Next, 2014 World Championship format change.
so this was super interesting. I don't know if you
Weird as
read
shit.
into it too much.
Well, I
but
don't remember what the actual World Championship format was before this, so
Yeah, but what
reading
they're
it,
doing
it's pretty insane what you gotta do to
round
actually
one
top
is
here.
they rebuilding vintage masters packs. Essentially, they can't obviously print vintage masters packs due to the reserved list, but they are building them with existing cards and having them be drafted as the format, which I think is insane. I would kill to be at that event. That would
I know.
sounds
All
amazing.
the rare cards you would get.
I mean, even without that, like Vintage Masters is a nuts format. Like the people who played on, like who got to play it on MTGO and stuff like that, like it only sounds incredible. And like I played Modern Masters. This is barely a shadow of that.
I know. Vintage Messi, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For the actual article that they update on their site, I'll read that for people out there. On day one, players will compete in 3 rounds of real-life Vintage Master Booster Draft, followed by 4 rounds of Modern. Vintage Master Booster Packs will be generated on Magic Online and physical reconstruction decks at the event. On day 2, players will compete in 3 rounds of Cons of Talkir Booster Draft, followed by 4 rounds of Standard. The top 4 will take place on December 7th and will be played using standard construction decks that players use on day 2 of the event. And information, you can go to 2014 World Championships. It has been updated with all that information as well.
This is basically like they're having a tournament at a world event be like a cube draft, which sounds just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen this is not only the Pokemon just did a major change the way they do their regionals recently, where they literally play they play the standard format the first day, and then the second day they extend the format out, which is really weird. And now I'm seeing Wizards, they're doing something that's debatably drastically different. Again, wasn't 100%. I think the way they did it before was that you did some kind of draft system, and then on the last days you went back to standard. I think that's how they did it before. They didn't do like this Vintage Masters or anything like that. If I had to guess, they probably did Modern and then a draft and a Modern then. But then again, I'm not 100%. Anytime I watch the streams, it's always they're on day 2 and stuff, and they're doing the standard stuff.
I don't remember. It might have honestly been just like another draft or something because I remember a while back we were talking about how a lot of events didn't have Modern.
Yeah.
So it probably would have just been like another. It might have been just another round of draft or something.
It could have been. 'Cause I honestly did not know. So I've seen a lot of good guys are doing this. Like Wizards is doing it. Pokemon did it. And Yu-Gi-Oh did this like a year ago. Actually, yeah, was it about a year ago maybe? Where now their last rounds are just you have to draft. So I don't know if this is like a response like promoting more of their other type of products. Maybe supporting other let's go with Wizard. Maybe they're supporting older players who are used to playing in vintage type scenarios and other type of scenarios, so it promotes more of that kind of stuff. And also, they said right here that Vintage Magic Boost will be generated on Magic Online, and they'll also be physical.
Then they'll actually build them.
Yeah.
Which is probably literally the only way they're allowed to do this because of the reserve list. So.
Yeah.
They are not allowed to print most of these cards.
Yeah, I heard the world will blow up if they ever reprinted old cards.
Isn't Black Lotus in there?
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact! We didn't mention it last week. Did you guys see that video? The unpacking
Yes.
video. They got
Yeah,
super
the guy's
famous.
hands
I never
are
saw a
shaking.
hand. I used to watch a lot of pack opening videos for Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and everything. When that guy, you could see the way his hand twitched that one
Yeah,
moment, and he's
and
like, "Oh,
he opened a tropical island first too. Like he already pulled money, and then he was like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Holy shit,
but
dude!"
those were those were donated too because he's one of those pack opening guys. So
Oh,
fucking
really? I was wondering if he was just like, if he like sort of just gathered up something over time or tried to find like an easy way to get this because those go for like 2 grand.
oh, never mind.
Uh,
He probably was not. That's probably not one of the ones that were donated then because he opens a lot of old stuff and he always says that he's got sponsors for
I mean, I was
pack opening.
curious in looking into it around when the video was floating around, just like to see what it really cost to
No
acquire
matter
the
what,
alpha
whether they were
beta pack.
donated
And
or whatever, those are his cards. So
yep,
yeah. Yeah, it was
yeah,
amazing. I never seen a Magic the Gathering pack open video go so viral.
yeah.
Man, and it was pretty good condition because
Hmm.
yeah, there uses gloves. He's one of the only people in pack open videos that say uses gloves, but that's more of a Magic thing. I guess it's
Yeah.
to iron out the whole factor that it's got to be mint. So
Hmm.
yeah, so going back to the World Championship change thing, it just seems like they're promoting different types of styles of play and really trying to show that the players that win Worlds can win, and not just because they're good in Standard, but good because they're just all around good players that can adjust for any type of format.
Hmm.
I think that's also kind of why they're doing this to promote other types of play. Maybe things are just getting stale too. Who knows? Who knows?
Hmm. I
Uh,
like that they're promoting. I mean, I don't necessarily know how those formats work outside of Magic, but I find that like draft is one of the most skill intensive
it is. It is. It
skill
totally is.
intensive uh like formats that also promote like because it promotes so many types of skill. So that like I feel like that's a great event to be in something like this.
Hmm.
So
And
like
Magic
I said,
overall is still pretty good about the way it is. Like I would debate the last pack. I don't know. I don't think Cons is super good at for draft, but that's just me.
I certainly enjoy it. What I really like about it is that they put fixing at common so easy. Lets you do some crazy things. Like a lot of people swear by 5 colors, just like pick fixing, and then like you can, cast anything, and then there's like strategies to keeping with like enemy colors, and then you can choose a clan out of 2 clans, and like
Hmm.
so I think it's pretty interesting. It's not the best draft format I've ever had, but I enjoy it. It's much better than
Yeah. Oh,
I would say the
Wizard
Theros
still
block
does a good
was.
job at designing their sets at the end of the day, so it
Yeah.
works out good for Magic. Like Konami, they're still trying to only they had to make a separate just draft when you do sneak peeks for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's fucking pointless. Their normal packs are just not designed at all to be drafted, and that's why
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
they had to make packs for drafting. And even then, like
That's true.
the first set, the battle packs, the first ones, they weren't super good. It took them they're on the third try now, the third level, and now the packs are getting designed pretty well, which I like. But even then, like the last one, they're using the reprint tricks to get them to sell.
That's like when they're doing spoilers for a new season of cards, they'll have like one article that's just about it to talking about like how these cards play out in limited and like sealed and draft. And you'd be like, that's a god card that someone will probably ever play in constructed. But you're like, if as a person who plays limited, you can be excited about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like no one's gonna play Wooly Loxodon in
yeah,
uh, no one's gonna play Wooly Loxodon in like standard, but you know what? He is the biggest fucking draft creature in that, or the biggest draft and morph creature in that format. So he's kind of an all-star
yeah,
actually.
yeah. It's pretty amazing in that regard. Yeah, Magic still
Nothing
got it
out
good.
muscles.
Magic's, overall Magic still. I always say this. Magic's, if you look at it as a TCG overall, they're still I feel the best because it not only does their design and pack designs work pretty well overall for like different types of formats. The artwork's good. The mechanics of the game is still pretty good. If you want to get super competitive, it can. Like my only nitpick ever about with Magic is that we were just talking about, they can never reprint these old cards because they care that much about fucking with the secondary market. Then again, I come from Yu-Gi-Oh, where fucking reprints are they're passing those out like they're nothing. So to me, it seems kind of silly that they're afraid to reprint old cards when it would be really cool to get some old cards come back. But
Yeah.
I understand if something's like $3,000 card and they reprint it and then everyone goes fucking nuts. I can understand.
Mhm.
It's a reasonable fear and reasonable why they won't do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of promos, yeah, that's kind of like reprinting. January's FNM promos have been revealed. So, Oh,
Yeah, it's
wait,
Frenzied
one
Goblin,
promo
right?
apparently. Wait, I thought there was
Yeah, yeah.
multiples.
There's just one for FNM. It's for the entire month.
Yeah. Oh, I thought there was another one here. Okay, well, anyways.
Um, well,
I'm looking at
I
the
don't know if you
old.
announced. I think December was Stoke the Flames, which was pretty exciting
So this
because
is
that card is a $5 uncommon actually.
Oh, cool. It's this goblin guy. Whenever this guy attacks, you may pay a red, and if you do, target creature can't block this turn.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think the art on him is kind of hideous to be honest. I really
He's
do.
a goblin, supposed to.
But
Yeah, it's
at the
nothing
same
special.
time,
He looks like a werewolf.
he is seeing standard play, so
He
I
looks
guess
like
like
a
it's better than
80s
some cards.
animatronic monster.
Yeah, kind of.
It's certainly better than
Almost like a gremlin, you know?
Almost.
like Fanatic of Xenagos. As cool as that card, as cool as I think that card is, it seems like almost zero standard play. So Frenzied
know.
Goblin is better than him, I guess.
It's all about
Sure.
November's. It's all about November's promo. Brain
That
Maggot.
disgusting
is-
brain maggot. Yeah,
Oh,
so gross.
God, Brain Maggot's so cool.
Yeah,
Look at
that
that.
promo's so gross though.
It's so that's why I like it. Yeah, and Stoke the Flame for December.
Yeah, Stoke of December. That's astounding. Like that card is so good.
Convoke
That's
is so good.
Yeah.
Convoke
Yeah, I'm
is
still
amazing.
playing around with. I mean, the fact that like that card is what like helps push Rebel Master so well.
Yeah.
Like, they really
Yep.
designed a format around him. It almost seems.
Yep. Totally agree with that.
And they even designed the format around answers to him with things like Hornet Nest. Hornet Nest makes him look stupid. It really does. What's that? Oh, another
B,
B.
B.
Like at a certain point.
We're going to a
So-
spelling bee at the end of the day. All these bees.
Yeah. So like they were. It seems like they designed the format around him, which is certainly something.
But that's the promo, guys. Next, Andrew Breakerstorm. Backerstorm. Breakerstorm.
Backerstorm.
Backerstorm.
Bakerstrom.
Bakerstrom. Bakerstrom. Bakerfield. Whatever. He won $50,000 in TCGplayers.com Max Point Series Championship. He was his
Nice.
Mardu mid range was the deck.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, like, it's interesting in this format. Just like when a format is primarily centered around mid-range, the thing is, mid-range is a very tunable archetype. So like, we'll have like, oh well, Abzen mid-range is obviously a very good deck, but at the same time, like you dial it back and you can play it aggressive. You dial it forward, you can play it like control, and like Mardu, same thing. It was like you play mid-range or you dial it back. You play War Name Aspirants. You play like Brimazes, you get in their face, or you dial it up and you're just like, well, Crackling Dooms and Sarkons, like try to get past this.
Butcher of the Horde is really good in my opinion too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought
this-
that card was going to make a bigger impact than he did. He still seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
He's so very cheap,
For
too.
anyone who cares, this deck was 4 Butcher of the Horde, 4 Goblin Rabbit Master, 3 Seeker of the Way, Elspeth, Sarkon, Sorin, 1, 2, 3 lineup, everything. Chain to the Rock, Crackling Doom.
Chain of the Rock was the one that surprised me, like to the point I saw them talking about actually they're playing Evolving Wilds just because they basically
Really?
basically because they needed more ways to get basic mountains so that they
Yeah.
could play Chain to the Rocks.
Oh man, interesting.
Yeah.
It's a
you know,
really good card.
We need to talk about Chain of the Rock for a second. Like, here's why I like Wizards. Like, I just think this card is so cool. The whole idea of that you use your land base to like attach them to it and stuff like that is like, really
Yeah.
it's so cool. And it's cool. It's also it costs a planes to play, so it's a totally different color than you would normally see when you have a mountain. You know what I mean? It's like just that whole idea of how those card interactions work and mechanically is just so sweet. And I love
Yeah.
cards like that.
And flavor wise too, like when you think about like what the concept of that card is.
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like,
and yeah, it's actual lore and not even lore. It's just it's like you said, it's flavor.
Mhm.
It's just
So,
so
yeah.
cool. So Chain of the Rocks is awesome. I like when
Yeah.
Wizards does that cool shit. Just like Swan Song. Like I like Swan Song because it's just like turn it into a bird.
Yeah.
It's a bird.
It's a mighty spell. It's a bird.
a
Are you
bird.
trying to summon a god in my presence? Well, it's a bird instead.
Crackling Doom, Hoarding, Outburst, Lightning Strike, Magma Jet. Wait, is this-
Once again,
Murderous Cut? Oh, yeah, Murderous
surprises
Cut.
me.
Yeah. Then okay, I don't really think there's a need to. I guess it matters. So he was the Forge, Bloodstained, Cave,
Myers.
Mountains, Outpost, Swamp, Temple. You know, there's nothing too. He's got to play the lineup. He's got to
Yep.
play to get his colors out. So that was pretty interesting. And then I'm looking at the top 32 here. Marju mid-range seems to be the most on there too. Oh no, Asbin mid-range. is
Aspen
up
Yeah.
there, too.
mid-range.
Yeah,
Actually, that's
the
the most.
Abs in mid range.
I take that back. Asbin mid-range seems to be was more present.
Yeah, that one's pretty strong. Like that one is so so tunable too. Like that's what I like about a mid-rangey standard is like how well you can tune your options, like how finely you can tune them to like make a deck that like this is obviously still large, like this is still an Abzan deck, this is still like an Abzan mid-range deck, but like this is the way that I think it's going to work best.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
plus
you
playing
can't just
Fleece Mane Lion, such a good card.
yeah, like that jumped up to like $4. I was like, oh man, I think I have one of those in my bulk box, and sure enough, I did
Yeah,
because it was a bulk rare last season.
yeah, it's so weird that Barnaby Jones was calling that back, and he's like, "This card's good. Why is this so cheap? Why is no one getting these?" And then like, it's just so weird how it just got passed over for a little while. Then it got big, and then I think it kind of dropped again. Now it's big again.
Yeah, I remember
So
how many
fucking
I would
weird.
get. I remember how many I would get in draft, just because like, well, someone's in green white, not in green white beyond like pack one. They're just like, well, I can't play this, whatever. And I'd be like, oh, I'm
Can't
already
play
in
it.
green white, Fleeceman Lion, sweet. And then
Yeah.
it would put it in work because it was really good in that format. But it was still a bulk rare. Like that's why people are willing to just pass it. Even like they can't play it, but it's only $1, so they're not gonna keep it either.
Oh man, love that. So I think just looking at the top 32 here, it does really speak of the format, like what's going
Mhm.
down.
Yeah, it
Combos,
seems.
combo. I only seen one combo in the whole top 32 on their list here, and it made it top eight. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like the format, like I said, even though it may seem like the format's somewhat monotone because they're just like, well, it's Abzan, and like just guy, because you fine tune your list so well. Like they are often very different decks, and I like where this is. This seems like a very diverse standard to me.
I'm finally seeing a list from their top of this blue black control deck you were talking about. I never
Oh
saw
yeah.
any list of it. Actually, I'm kind of liking this, Walter. I might pick this
I
up
mean,
and give it
I
a
the
try.
concept is kind of okay because like they have the perilous vault as far as like a board wipe goes and stuff like that. I just hate that they're willing to play cards
Oh no, I totally get what you're saying. What you were saying earlier. Oh yeah, totally. It's
like
fucking
Perlink
shitty.
Ancient and even what's his name, Prognostic Sphinx. Like that card is awful.
Yeah, like just reading Pearl Lake Ancient. Yeah, it's crazy to play that.
They have no other win cons like blue white. They have Elspeth, and they can do like other things. But like this deck, they have to try to kill you with a
Dude, I
Perlink
would
Ancient.
take this. I would change it up. I would run some Ashy off. I would change this up a little bit.
Yeah. Some of them swear by it too. Like I've seen lists full of Ashiok, and they're like, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a win con and a protection all in one. If they don't apply any early threat, this card gets out of control. Because after one activation, it's casting their Siege Rhinos.
Yeah. Alrighty, next, Treasure Cruise. Now, Walter wanted to go a little bit more in-depth analysis of this card, and I totally agree, because this is a pretty amazing sorcery, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ancestral Recall in Standard and Modern and Legacy. I have Ancestral Recalled in Standard many times over the weekends and over the past couple weeks, but I think it's fine in Standard, obviously. The problem
Yeah.
and Legacy is debatable, but it's fine there too. The answers are there. The problem is people think that this card is oppressive in Modern for the simple reason that this card is so splashable that it's basically going like there's just decks that are like, well, burn, we're playing burn, but you know what, we'll splash, like it's like the old Deathrite Shaman thing before Deathrite got banned in
Oh,
Modern.
okay.
Like every deck would just splash this card because it's that good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so people are talking about like Cruise probably isn't going to last in Modern because of that. Like they don't want decks to just be like, well, let's all splash, let's all splash Treasure Cruise. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
why
fine.
not? It's draw 3 for pretty much 1.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I don't attest to its power. I feel like it's a reasonable card, but the way that if it does warp the format like that, I would probably rather just see it be banned than
Yeah, because,
like every deck just being playing like Blue X because of Treasure Cruise.
yeah. Yeah, because being able to just, if it obviously only costs you 1 blue, you play 4 of
Yeah.
them, fucking, people are going to gladly exile stuff from their graveyard. It's not going to be
Yeah.
like a problem at all. Be able to draw 3 for 1, even at sorcery speed, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it turns out Sorcery Speed Ancestral Recall is still really good. Um, so, like, I don't think this card is out of control. I mean, you have to remember that things like Scavenging Ooze are in the format, but
Yep.
at the same time, if they go the route where like every deck is just playing this card, then I'd rather no deck play this card.
And if every deck's playing this card, you can always side deck Torment's Crypt to get rid of their graveyard.
Yeah. Like people are talking about just playing like Rest in Pieces in the board and stuff like
That is
that. Like
That's a good way. Yeah.
right now I'd be playing a deck with Scavenging Ooze in it if everyone's going to try to play this card, because then like they're going to run into the scenario where they have like 2 of these guys in their hand and no grave because I've been eating it, and they'll just have 2 dead cards.
Yeah, it's very
That's
interesting.
how I feel.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's probably it's definitely fine in Legacy too, but it's also certainly interesting that like this deck is kind of like pushing out other things, or this card is kind of like pushing out other things where it's just like everyone, now that everyone has access to this card in Blue and Legacy, like, you know, games are actually going longer because decks don't run out of fuel so easily. And
Yeah, I figured
at
that
the
would
same
be
time,
a
like
problem, yeah.
I was playing Shardless in Legacy because like one of the advantages Shardless has is that they have the suspend recall, and that they can Shardless into for, you know, just a free draw 3. But like now that other decks have easy access to draw 3, one of the advantages that my deck has is starting to get pushed out to the point where like it makes my deck not as attractive of an option anymore, which is weird. But like,
Yeah,
you know,
that is
it happens.
thing with me with Legacy is like, I don't know. It always has that stigma that, oh, people just play turn 0 decks. It's like, oh, so you're saying that maybe this could cause people to maybe make a deck that will not only could maybe do something in the beginning, but then maybe go for that longer to mid-range game as well. That's kind of interesting to see that a card could even do that. Like, hey, it might be worth actually
Like
making
Legacy
a deck that
games
doesn't.
are, if they're not a combo, if a Legacy game isn't a combo matchup, then they're often ended by just like who like gets out resources the other person first. But like when any Blue X deck can now like refuel like that so easily with Treasure Cruise, games are going to go longer, and it's going to make the value of cards that are good better late go up, which is weird because Legacy isn't a late game format, obviously.
Yeah, I
But
never.
they're talking about how something like True
Yeah.
Name Nemesis is a fine card in Legacy. He sees a decent bit of play because he's hard to answer, but at the same time, like, he is hard to answer, and if decks are going to refuel and go longer and go like the games are going to go longer, you want a hard to answer threat,
Yeah.
and that's going to make like the value of something like True Name Nemesis increase.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the monetary value, but like the playability value.
Yeah. When it comes to Legacy, I never associate long games. I'm like, what is this? What? You're not winning by turn -5? What's up with this? You're not winning before you sit down? What's this?
Yeah.
Deck
But like
this?
now every blue deck, even some of the combo ones, but like especially like all the Delver variants or like the other Temple variants or like the Stoneforge variants are just like, well, throw in 2 to 3 treasure cruises, you know. That way we don't have to worry about the resource race, and we can worry about like trying to beat our opponent in a different method.
Yes. And that's cool that, you know, a card can do that to a whole, like,
Yeah.
potentially could. We didn't say it did yet, but could do
Yeah. At the same time, and it's not like Modern where like people are just splashing blue to play it.
Yeah.
Because, like, if
Modern's so weird.
people like, if a deck isn't going to force blue now just to play Treasure Cruise, either they were already forcing blue to play things like Brainstorm and Force of Will, or they don't care about Treasure Cruise anyways. So,
Alrighty.
but yeah, Modern is a strange format. Like
Yeah,
that.
Modern's so weird. So weird. I just play a fucking soldier deck in Modern, and I call it a day. I don't want to get all crazy.
Speaking of soldiers, I was just looking at like legacy lists because I was interested of like tuning up. Like I said, Shardless is good. Like now that the format's warping, Shardless might not be so good anymore. And I'm looking at like one of the recent legacy events, and mono white soldiers won like a qualifier or something.
Yeah, I'm not
And I was
surprised.
just like,
Well, it's the
you know
best
what?
tribe ever, just so you know.
You know what I love? This is what I love about Legacy. I have absolutely never heard of a mono white Shardless deck or mono white soldiers deck, and it just took first in like a
Oh.
Legacy event. Like that blows my mind.
I'm thinking. I think when it comes to Legacy, that playing something completely unexpected and showing up to an event, and you fine tuned it so well to know what you'll be facing. If you're a decent player, you could take that to the top and just totally blow people over.
Mhm.
Yes, I think Legacy definitely has that thing about it.
I'm gonna see if I can find this this
Yes,
deck. real
definitely send me that link over because maybe it'll get me into Legacy. Because I have no interest. I only have interest in Modern and Standard, and beyond that, it's like nothing.
quick. Yeah.
But hey, if that could play a Legacy Soldier deck, that'd be cool. I'll do that. Hey, it might even be cheaper because no one's gonna have, probably doesn't have any. Well, no, I bet you no matter what,
I doubt that.
Yeah, no matter
I mean,
what, you're gonna need to.
it'll definitely be cheaper than other things. Like, if you
Oh,
don't
they'll be
need,
I was
cheaper than
if you
others,
interested
don't,
in
exactly.
doing Legacy Goblins, but I was looking like some of those like a set of one of the cards you need. One of those goblins, fucking are just like $8 a piece.
pile drivers are like $20.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
But
pile driver. Yeah.
speaking of, pile drivers are cheaper than Goblin Rabble Masters right now. That's a trade.
No.
Yeah, totally. That's a trade I would make every
Oh my
every day.
god,
Okay.
dude, Rabble Master, you put in some work, son. Dude, getting
I
more
recognize
expensive than a key card in a legacy deck.
Was only 90 cents a pop.
I recognize that Goblin Rabble Master is a good card, but like Goblin Pile Driver is an insane card.
Yes.
That should not be a thing.
That's so crazy, man. That blows my mind because it's like that's a legacy fucking card. That should be cost so much more because it's a galaxy card that's used too. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
And like I'm looking at a legacy event right now, and like so Sliver's list in top 8 right now.
Okay,
Like,
slivers.
oh,
All right, I can see.
But
we
like
could do some
that
crazy
like
shit.
never comes back.
Yeah,
you
like
know? But it's legacy. Anything can come back at any time in legacy. That's just how legacy is, and that's what I love about it. I hate the price gate. That sucks, but like it is the healthiest format, I think.
well, yeah, because you have a format where potentially you literally have every card at your disposal. So,
Yep.
well, I know there's some things that are banned, but like that's pretty much everything still. That's over 20 years or fucking how many years, whatever, of cards.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a lot.
only really gross things that are banned.
Yeah.
God,
I think
Good
that
kind
just
of
makes
soldiers
sense.
list.
Yeah. Yeah, let me know about that soldier list. Send it my way. So let's move on. I'm going to move on to some Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll obviously be blazing through this because I have no one to discuss things. It's kind of just going to be me. The next Challenger's Fusion card, we found out about this card. So pretty much, it's called Fusion Substitute. This card's name is always treated as polymerization. You get to fusion summon one monster from your extra deck using the monsters you control as a fusion material. Then you banish this card from your graveyard and target one fusion monster in your graveyard. Return it to the extra deck and then draw one card. This is a fusion that actually lets you recur your fusion monsters that you used to fuse, which is nice. It's something we've not had in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever, so it's kind of nice to see this coming out. It's pretty balanced, too. You got to banish the card from your graveyard, bring it back. That's pretty cool. So that's I really like that. So it's like a better polymerization, to be honest. Like not only can you fuse, but then you can actually get rid of it and recycle your stuff, which is really sweet. And that's the main thing that I wanted came out of that. But there's some other cards that got spoiled here. UA Minefielder, stuff like that. I'm not really going to talk about those because I wasn't really interested. I just thought it was really cool that we got a fusion card that can recycle our fusion monsters like that. Especially with the loss of super polymerization, maybe you guys got some room for other type of fusion cards that you can use, which is really cool. The 3 new Burning Abyss cards were revealed. People are debating whether or not the trap is broken or not. But I'll go ahead and read off the cards real quick. The first one we got, obviously, we got Virgil, Rockstar of the Burning Abyss. Konami, when they take Dante Inferno lore and they get to turn and they get to do their own thing with it, it's kind of interesting. Virgil, the Rockstar of Burning Abyss. He's a synchro. He's a level 6 light spellcaster type synchro monster. Requires 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. You can just if you only control one of him, you can only control one of him. Once per turn, you can discard 1 Burning Abyss card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, or in their graveyard. Shuffle it into the deck. If this card's in the field destroyed by battle, or by counter effects, graveyard, you can draw 1 card. You'll use the effect of him once per turn. 2,500 body, 1,000 defense. Very interesting synchro. It's a guy that can get rid of problem cards, which is always nice. I like that.
Is there an easy way to get this guy to the field?
Oh yeah, he's only level 6. Speaking of that, now we have the Burning Abyss tuner. He is a level 3 Burning Abyss monster, Dark Fiend tuner. If you control a monster that is not a Burning Abyss monster, destroy his card.
Yes.
Cannot be used as a synchro material except for a synchro summon of a Burning Abyss synchro monster. So obviously the main thing you're going to be using him for is to make your Virgil, the Rockstar guy. With the new tuner that came out, he is now relatively easy to make. It's definitely a possibility. Also, he has no sent to graveyard effect like the rest of the Burning Abyss. That's fine, but he also has another effect. If you control no spell trap cards, you can spell summon this card from your hand. So, that's kind of cool. You only use it once per turn. Obviously, he's got 2,100 defense. He is not brokenly amazing. Pretty much, he just provides that ability to make Virgil. Honestly, that's honestly what he's there for. He's not totally broken, but he's not too good either, to be honest, because he has no sent to graveyard effect. That's fine. It's just it's just there to facilitate making the Rockstar. It depends if people would want to run him. No matter what, you'll only be running one. I see no reason why you'd run more than one of these guys in a Burning Abyss tech. Like, just to make Virgil. Yeah, I get it's not. There's no point. Like,
There's no point. Yeah.
no point. Next, we got okay, I have no idea how to say this. Mel Bracer of the Burning Abyss. Mel Bracer? Fucking.
Calcab Malbranche of the Burning
Mel
Abyss.
Branche? Fuck, that's crazy. These names. I'm not a Dante Inferno guy, so I don't know if all this lore behind. I don't know what level Burning Abyss that guy is. Level 3 Fiend Dark Monster, obviously. If you control a monster that's not Burning Abyss monster, destroy its card. That's pretty standard for all of them. You can only use the effect of him once per turn. If you control no spell trap cards, you can spell summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face monster in the field and negate its effect till end of turn. Now, this is pretty nice.
That is nice.
Being able to negate an effect like that is kind of cool.
MST, no.
Yeah. Being able to special summon them is kind of nice, obviously, also as well. Another level 3, obviously tour guide target. And I don't know what would be worth running multiples of these or not. I don't really know. It's kind of iffy, but I do like the ability. Now they have one that can negate effects, which is really nice. Next, the trap card, which is the one that's kind of being debated right now, whether it's good, broken, or shitty. It's a normal trap card. You can send 2 Burning Abyss monsters you control to the graveyard, then target up to 3 cards in the field and destroy those targets.
Ooh.
Very interesting. Giving up your Burning Abyss cards to destroy 3 cards in the field is very interesting because it's very reminiscent of like Icarus Attack, but Icarus Attack usually giving up 1 card to get rid of 2. Potentially, this is a 3 for 3 card because obviously you're using the card and you're giving up 2 cards. But keep in mind, then you'll be getting your Burning Abyss effects, so it activates those as well, which is really cool. I'm on the fence that it's just a good card. I don't feel it's broken. But it's definitely far more better than the other proprietary Burning Abyss trap card. So I think everyone should definitely be running this. Karma Cuts are good, and Fairy Wing Blasts are always good. But maybe if you, for some reason, you left Burning Abyss monsters on the field, 2 of them, hey, you have a trap card to utilize that. Maybe it might be worth running 1, maybe even 2, just to see it. But it's kind of weird. I definitely want to see how they use this card. It's definitely good. But most of the time when I play Burning Abyss, they usually, if they're leaving 2 Burning Abyss on the field, either they're setting up for something next turn or they're just like, for some reason, they're not playing right. Because usually you don't leave 2 on the field. Usually you're exceeding with your materials when you have a chance to make a Dante, to keep fueling your deck. They then exceed into other things. To fin through your deck out, it gets what you need to search for. That's usually what you do, and I usually don't see Burning Abyss monsters just left out. That's why I'm like on the fence about if it's really broken. It doesn't seem broken to me. Those are the 3 big ones that came out. Another one was announced too, but I'm not going to be talking about that one until next week, mostly likely. Those are the 3 that came out this week. This article actually got updated since last time it came out. Next, the Legendary Collection 5D full list is out. Because obviously it came out. It's out now. That's why we know the full list. Pretty much everything in here is pretty worth getting. Getting your Formula Synchrons, which are super rares, which is really nice. They're really shiny, cool. You get Mech Lord reprints. You get Thor and Loki reprints and Odin. Almost everything TG, pretty much. You get your werewolves and everything like that. It's really cool. Full House is a reprint in this. Really nice. Ultra rares, we have... Oh, man. You got quite a few different guys in this, actually. Yeah, all the TG stuff is mentioned. You get Max C is a reprint. That's nice. Some Neuteria monsters. Trying to go through a list. Yeah, like a lot of stuff is getting reprinted into this. It's really nice. So guys, there's a lot of worthwhile cards from the Synchro generation, pretty much I'll call it. It's definitely worth it. Everyone should buy 2 of these. Totally worth it. Buy 2. Get your fucking old good cards right now. Next, Pot of Wealth was just spoiled, released from the OCG. This is an interesting one. It's a normal spell card. You can activate only 1 Pot of Wealth per turn. During the turn in which you activate this card, you cannot special summon monsters except for pendulum monsters.
Okay.
You get to choose 3 pendulum monsters in your graveyard that are face up in your extra deck. Shuffle them in your deck, then draw 2 cards. That's pretty fucking good. There's definitely a card that will be more relevant in the future when pendulum monsters become like the standard thing to start using. It's a pretty good card, actually. If you're running pendulum monsters and they got exhausted and you're bringing them back, shuffling it in, that's really good. There's no negatives, really, because what you can do is fucking do what you were doing. You know, like say go off with your pendulum monsters. Maybe something went wrong and they went away. And then you just fucking activate it and recycle your shit, man. It's just fucking simple as that. And it works well with the Quarfort deck. So there you go. It's definitely going to be a must pick up when it comes out here in the States. Now this next one, this Pendulum quick play spell card.
Morarium.
Yeah, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. See, it's like a weird. They have the picture on the card is like a actual pendulum, which is like fucking weird. All right, so this card is fucking good as shit. All right, so this turn, cards in the pendulum zone cannot be destroyed by opponent card effects, or also when an opponent's card effect resolves that targets a card in the pendulum zone at the activation, negate that effect. Holy fucking shit! This is a this literally this the way it's worded. It's to protect your pendulum monsters. They cannot be touched. That is fucking amazing. They won't be able to get targeted. They won't be able to get destroyed. That is fucking amazing. And it's a quick play. It's a fucking quick play, guys. So they go, oh, I'm going to target Shane, Pendulum, Memoriam, whatever the fuck it's called. And to fucking protect your pendulum monsters. Holy fucking shit. This is going to be another set of cards you're going to want to pick up when it comes out in the States, too. Oh, my God. Why would they make this card? Fuck. Again, we don't have no idea when this is going to come out in America. It might not even come out in America. Because the big thing with this card, it's a Korean exclusive. So you're only being able to play this card if you're in Korea. But, you know, there's always a chance they'll bring it and reprint it or bring it out in the States, you know? So it's definitely a card that's worth to keep in your back of your mind. And when it gets brought out here in America, fuck, you peck them up when you can. Holy shit. Because when pendulums become the number one thing to use, which I do think they will, because if you just look at Konami history, you know, synchros were popular. The XACs were popular. The pendulums eventually will take over. So if this card ever comes to the States, holy shit. Just goddamn it, Konami. Why are you making cards that just protect pendulum? Like, let's say a card that just lets you protect. Let's say it's just even Magic. Just like you play this card, it's protected from everything, even like stuff mechanically speaking, which is like what the fuck.
Indestructible hexproof for your tribe, and you have to keep in mind that there is no being that there's no resource. There is no cost to you.
Yeah.
I have this card, you know.
And it's spell speed too, so it's like an instant in Magic.
Yeah,
it's like fucking nuts. Holy shit.
Konami. Get wrecked.
That's nuts. Next thing, the only last thing I had on my list here to mention is Fire Fist took 4th place. And what is this? Dublin? Dublin?
That's in Ireland.
Must be Ireland. So there's some other countries that are bringing Fire Fist back, which is really nice. From the deck list, it's pretty standard. They got some things in there that are fancy to help mitigate what's going on in the format. But it's pretty standard Fire Fist. They just like, hey, we got Wolfbark back. Cool stuff. Book of Moon, Lance. Yeah, pretty much just standard stuff. Oh, this guy's deck who won, he actually ran a Rekindling, which I actually surprisingly have not seen that done before. So, yeah. Maybe Fire Fist could make a comeback. I was wondering when it was going to happen. They have Wolfbarks. Kind of weird. We were talking about last week how we were surprised no one's done anything with Fire Fist yet. Maybe it just takes a little time to, you know, kick up the steam.
Maybe they watch our show.
Yeah, they watch it. Yes, the people in Ireland would totally watch our show. I should have figured that out because look at his name. That's like McLanley Land. Whatever the fuck it is.
McClelland.
McLanley Land. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. People in Ireland do not hate us. Don't hate me. Sorry. I'm just making jokes. So Fire Fist could be a thing, you know? I don't see why it can't be because they've got Wolfbark, which is literally a card that says, I bring back a monster for free. And then I can XYZ with it. Then I can do it again and again and again as long as I'm on the field. So all that recurring ability to bring back all your shit that was in your graveyard is so powerful. So Fire Fist, please do something again because it'd be nice. Because I say this, like Fire Fist, I want to see Fire Fist do something because power creep is so crazy, man. Like to see a deck that was so good like 6 months ago and now back and not doing a damn thing is so weird. Sometimes, you know, so weird. Other than that, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh's pretty stable out right now with Burning Abyss, Shadow's. I think Shadow's are still the number one right now. Quasar has not done anything yet. I think now that it's out and not everyone has the ability to access to the card, it'll take a little time. Like Chris was saying last week, it'll take a little time for people to do it. I think Quasar will be the only thing that will jump up because it's a very consistent combo deck. Like, just too consistent in my opinion. It's kind of scary how consistent it is. And Quasar, if you play Quasar, I don't see how you're losing. Like, they would have to play Dark Hole and Raigeki. That's assuming you survive the turn they bring out Quasar. So, Godspeed, everybody. And in the future, when shit hits us with the coal farts and the knee cloths, or the fuck they're called, God, things are gonna be so fucking weird. I that could be. We thought this format would be a tier 0 format too, but God, that one feels like it's gonna be tier 0 as well. Like there's nothing. It not only the knee cloths, they're so consistent. They do what they want to do all the time. They disrupt every type of deck. I guess they could draw bad, but even then, like you're running so many things, like
They
it's
just
not even
give no
possible.
fucks.
Yeah, it fuck. Like you can't like I guess you could even if you're gonna max C if they're gonna special summon like nuts, it doesn't matter because you hope you draw that Gores, which is just gonna use Trishula to get rid of your hand. Watch, they're gonna hit the card in your hand. Stops your stuff in your graveyard. It has so much diverse effects for multiple situations. It can get access to almost a good majority of good cards in the extra deck. Fuck, man. Why? I never thought ritual monsters would be so good again. Fuck. Yeah, and they're ritual monsters. So you have preparation of rites you can use and everything like that. They have access to all the good ritual spells. Like, other than, like, honestly, the only thing I could think you could do, because it's seriously a spell deck, like, for me, for my frog deck, I would run Spell Canceller. Because if I can play Spell Canceller in support of a little bit of back row, theoretically, they should be stopped, because if they can't activate their spell cards, then they're done, because they can't do anything. They need spell cards. So that's really the only thing you can think of. You just got to stop the spell cards. Yeah, you can try to stop the tribute aspect of them, but I don't feel like that's very. I don't know. Like other than massive restrict, maybe I can't think of other cards right now. Maybe you could just run Vanity's Emptiness, but that's assuming you're already set up. When they're good to go, turn 0, and you need a turn to set Vanity's Emptiness. That might not always work out. And you need to be able to get your plays off too. You can't activate Emptiness until you at least get like your field presence going. It's just like it's gonna be real rough. That's gonna be an interesting format. Jeez. It's kind of cool though. I'll say the lore, like they're all like costume wearing creatures that dress up as costumes from like the most powerful synchros in the game, which is kind of cool. But it's just like, fuck, man. Konami, man, power creep is a thing. Like, how are they gonna? What blows my mind is what are they gonna do to beat these things after? Like, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. They need to. Fuck. Like, this is just me looking at it as a game balance perspective and not really, like, just going with the flow. I don't know, man. This has always been my gripe. I just think that Konami, at this point, they need to switch to an Eternal format type of deal where they have an Eternal format and a Standard format. Change their pack designs. They've already been experimenting with the battle packs. I think they could do it. Like, copy magic is pretty much what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm that asshole, I guess. I think that's just what needs to be done. God, I don't know what the fuck are they gonna make to beat this after that? Like, fuck, man. Like, this literally is everything. It has.
They will ban everything.
Like the way this deck works, it has the mechanics of every, like of a top tier deck. It researches for everything. You can search for everything. It can spam the field. It brings out powerful monsters. They have powerful effects. It has recurring. It can recycle stuff. It's fast. It really hurts your opponent. And there's like literally, unless you're stopping special summoning or stopping spells, you're not fucking able to stop them. And to do those things right now in the game of Yuko, to do that turn 0 or turn 1 is really rough for you because you need to get your deck going too. It's just really rough. Like, I just don't know, man. It's really weird. That's why I honestly think it's going to be tier 0 format. Yeah. And it's really weird because for the mirror match, if you're facing itself, it all becomes about who gets their plays off faster and who sides that one shitty actual card that they have because it's only good against the mirror. I see people trying to adjust their builds now. Keep in mind, those are all OCG, so maybe things could change because the extra deck is different here than is there. But like, I've seen people adjust their OCG builds because it's so popular. They need to be able to face the meta. I mean, the mirror, and it's really weird. Ugh.
Does Yu-Gi-Oh tend to print answers to their own cards?
Oh, they do. They do. Like, I think what was the one thing? I think there was rumors. Fuck, what was it? No, not rumors.
Because like
I remember seeing a guy made a video about here's the one card designed to stop knee cloths. Yeah, they do that.
Because ever since Affinity, Wizards has always, like the original Affinity, Wizards is always absurdly worried about any particular mechanic they print becoming out of control. And so they'll often, even before it's a mechanic, they'll print an answer to that mechanic. Or like right afterwards. Like the fact is
like
they put...
lens.
Yeah.
Clarity lens.
Yeah, they put Tormod's Crypt in like M15 before Delve was even a thing. And even in the Delve format, they put away like Delve Hate. It's just they try to make sure that even the strategies they want to push have answers. Like, I mean, they put back to nature in M15 too. It was just like, man, they do not want Constellation decks to be like dominant.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So it's just gonna be very interesting coming up when that stuff actually hits the TCG in the states. Like it's gonna be like a weird time. Like we thought Shade Owls would be tier 1, but damn, that's gonna be tier. I you know what? I guess I can kind of safely say it'll be tier 1, but you never know for sure. Fuck, maybe even tier 0. Fuck, I don't know. Really rough. But that's pretty much all that's going on in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. So yeah, enough of what's going on. I remember it was one thing, and it was real fun. One funny thing, like the commentation in the Yu-Gi-Oh events have been getting better. So they've been actually referring to like pro players and stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is kind of cool. That's one side note thing. Konami's streaming stuff has been improving quite heavily, and I'm kind of proud of them. It only took them fucking forever. That's about it for that. Let's move on to Pokemon. The biggest thing that happened in Pokemon is the recent regional a recent big regional. I think was in, I don't know the location. Well, the latest big regional for Pokemon. Puka from the top cut, his Aromatisse Mega Kangaskhan deck won, and it went undefeated day fucking one.
Mhm.
Holy shit. First thing, like you were saying earlier, Nero, you called it. You said that Mega Kangaskhan would be the only Mega to do anything because it was
So splashable.
because it's splashable.
And when Aromatisse, it becomes invincible.
Kind of. So his deck lineup was one Mega Kangaskhan, one Kangaskhan EX, Yveltal, a 3-2 lineup of Aromatisse and whatever the fuck the low level thing is. 2 Xerneas, the basic one, and then 1 Xerneas, the EX, Elandris, Virizion, Mewtwo, and he actually run the Skiffy. What the fuck? No, Sliffy? No, hang on. It's the fucking legendary plant thing.
The legendary plant thing.
Pokemon. Fuck, I don't even know how to say this name.
I'm drawing a blank.
It's
Generation, please.
the last generation, black and white.
Okay. Plant.
You know, it's like a little hedgehog.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. But
Is it,
Is it Shaman,
okay? Shaman? Yeah, it could be Shaman. Yeah, it's Shaman. That's how you say
Okay.
that.
S-H-A-Y-M-I.
Yeah, he runs Shaman. That was a player preference.
Yeah. Shaman EX?
Yeah, Shaman EX. That was a player preference. In his diagnostic video, he did say that he like used it never, but he said that was a player preference, and he thought it was pretty cool to run that. And also he ran the Suicune.
That's a lot of fucking colors, man.
Well, what the beautiful thing with Rainbow Energy and Fairy,
I know.
the only thing that requires an actual, Landorus is the only thing that requires a specific fighting energy, and you could say maybe Virizion EX, but he ran that just because it was supposed to be to counteract a Hypnotoxic Laser. Yeah,
Mhm.
he technically doesn't even play it as an attacker. He just kind of just sits there with it.
Which is what it does.
Yeah. Yveltal, it's no surprise there. It's actually, that dark, too. I think that's the only thing. The dark is the thing it requires. Yveltal, no surprise there. It is the best attacker in the game. Never thought Mewtwo EX would be trumped, but Yveltal is a better attacker.
He runs Mewtwo EX too.
Yes, he also runs Mewtwo EX.
It's the same card.
Yeah.
It's just one's dark and one's psychic.
Yeah, and the Suicune he runs just for the safeguard. He doesn't even attack with that. He can if he has to, though, because he runs the double DC. The big controversy that people got with him is they don't like that he played for Pokemon Fan Club, but I totally agree with him. It's a naturally slower deck, so you need to see Pokemon Fan Club turn 1. It's the same thing with the Flareon deck. You need to search out the Aromatisse starter, and everything else is a basic Pokemon. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So searching out and getting that consistency in the beginning is must needed. And people also disagreed with his choice of running 4 Fairy Garden, but I also agree with him. The deck does not work without Fairy Garden. If you can't retreat,
with his choice, but I mean he's the one who went
He went
undefeated. So
undefeated.
yeah, it just makes sense. Fairy
Unless
Garden.
these people, like Japanese people who like also did the same thing. It's like you don't know anything.
Yeah, you need Fairy Garden. It's like the whole point of the deck is to move your Fairy energy around and then being able to retreat for free constantly. Like that is the
Yes.
point of the deck.
That is the point.
Yeah, so if you don't see that turn 1, it's horrible. And also, believe it or not, other people do play stadium cards. So if they play theirs and negates one of yours, you need to have another one to play again.
That's easy when you have junipers and sycamores.
Yeah, it's very easy, yeah.
Or
And-
even what's that one card?
Chorus? The one that
No.
you draw based on the amount of Pokemon benches? That one?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think something like that. Yeah.
He ran 4N, 4 Pokemon Fan Club, 4 Juniper, 2 Lysander, 3 Chorus, uh, 2 DC, 4 Rainbow, 6 Fairy. You know, surprise there. 2 Ultra Ball, 1 Dowsing Machine, 1 Evo Soda. He teched that in because he said, you know, sometimes it's just easy to get out that because you can use Mega that for Mega Kangaskhan.
I knew
It does
Dusty
work.
Machine would be good. What the fuck were people thinking? Oh, Computer Shirt's gonna be only ace pick card you'll ever use. Oh shit.
3 Max Potion, 2 Startling Megaphone, 2 Muscle Band, and that was the trainer lineup. Looking at this, it's really cool. You know, it honestly it has everything that you would need in the deck.
has
It
an answer
runs
for everything. That's the
it runs
great thing.
Landorus for the bench hitting and also the quick one energy because your energy is very precious in an Aromatisse deck. Because if once something gets knocked out, you lose all that energy. You're not gonna be able to swap it around as freely because you just lost some of your energy. So Landorus is that one guy you bring out real quick. You can attach 1 energy to him, and he can just start doing that 30 and hitting the bench. Really cool. He has his Virizion for Hypnotoxic Laser. He's got the 2 best attackers in the game to just do pure damage. Running Xerneas is actually really interesting because when you're facing decks like the Don Fan deck where it's bringing out those guys that do the outrage, the Kirums and stuff,
Yep.
being able to knock them out with an X-Blast instantly to take care of that problem immediately because those are problem cards when they're swapping back and forth, bringing out those big beaters with the outrage.
Yeah.
And hell, when you're facing the decks that just like there's that other Kirum that I think it's a Kirum that does just like 140 damage, but it can't attack next turn. People play those
Yeah.
decks where they just keep swapping those back and forth, and they're just taking out things like you need to take care of those problem cards. That's why he runs the Xerneas EX for the X Blast to take things out. Although Breakthrough isn't totally useless, but that's why he runs that. You know, of course, we run the other Xerneas for the Geomancing. Or that's just a no-brainer, obviously. And then there's that Mega Kangaskhan. There's no surprise there why he runs that. Even though you're giving up a turn, that pure all that damage, 100 plus no matter what, and then if you flip the coins, you could potentially do like let's see, until you fucking get tails. So theoretically, you could keep getting heads and just do the most damage ever. And Mega Kangaskhan has the biggest HP, I think. I think he does.
So, yeah,
230.
230 or
230, I think, is the biggest.
240, I believe Charizard X has.
Ah, I see. And the standard Kangaskhan EX is not too bad either. If you never, you know,
no, he's really good.
yeah, being able to fetch 3 cards, that's kind of nice.
Mhm.
Just really good deck design overall, and you know, piloted by a good player. You're not surprised he did so well. I actually have no. It's actually kind of like perfect deck. Like I don't know what else you could do. Like other than it sucks that when you Mega Evolve, it sucks.
They have so many trainer cards coming out to stop that. It's like, why don't you just get rid of the rule?
Yeah, yeah. And he doesn't really need
They
to worry
have-
about.
There's one for Mega Gengar. There's one from Mega Manectric for the next set. They just say if this is attached to that card and becomes that, you don't lose your turn.
Yeah. And fuck. The only thing I can think that would really mess him up is Garbodor, but he runs a startling megaphone, so it's not like he doesn't have an answer for that. You know? Just a really good fucking deck. Like, Aromatisse is a very powerful card, and seeing it mixed in with other strategies is honestly the best way to do it. It's kind of weird that fairy energy would be the energy we use the most.
They wanted to sell that fairy energy, man.
This is definitely changing up the meta too, because I've seen many people play this. Hell, I'm
Aromatisse
thinking about
is
fucking
always been
building
one
it
of
and
the best
playing it out.
cards.
It's just it's just a good damn deck. Versatile, definitely a little difficult to run because it's a slower deck. It definitely is slow. It requires some setup. It does, so inherently it's slower. It runs a Mega, which you're gonna lose a turn there. You know, if you don't have Aromatisse early on, you're gonna be it sucks. You know, that's why Pokemon Fan Club is so important. With the loss of the loss of level ball really hurt everybody's deck.
Yeah, it did.
And what's nice about this is, this deck can face older decks too and hold its own, which is really interesting. Man, just what a deck! And Puga's already a famous person in the Pokemon TCG community, and now he won the regional, and now his deck's being used everywhere. Man, let me tell you that's pretty nuts. Whew, tough. Yeah, I don't know if Shaman's an interesting choice.
It is. I have one of those.
Hey.
I have the special full art one, the one that came in the legendary set.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing that went on in Pokemon recently. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know what can beat that. That's such a good deck. It has like an answer for everything.
Well, it is a slow deck, so Don Fan
Nothing-
gets going pretty quick. Those outrages, even if you don't have outrage,
You can
Don Fan's
easily
doing it.
stop that.
Just a standard Uvettel
That's
deck,
what-
I think
yeah.
would be its biggest. It could be the only thing that stop it because the Uvettel deck gets going. I've seen the fastest like turn 2, and just start knocking people out. Its biggest weakness is that it requires setup. Yeah, that's why it's a more skillful deck. You have to play it. You have to read your opponent's deck accordingly and play the
But if
Pokemon
you're
you need to
skillful,
play.
You can never lose with this deck.
I would like to think so. You wouldn't be able to lose because if you're, like if you read Crackle, you know not to play the Vision EX because you don't have to worry with Hypnotoxic Laser. You don't want to throw down useless EXs. Like as people bring out Lysander and knock out your Virizion that you only have there to protect you from there's no reason to have that risk,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it definitely needs to be good. Yeah, I see what you're saying. If you're a good player, you shouldn't fucking lose. It's
It
versatile.
has an answer for everything.
Yeah, like I guess.
That's pretty
Yeah,
much what this
a
deck was
Uvettel
made
deck
for.
is the only thing I can really think of because it's so fast. Most Uvettel decks run Garbodor, so if you shut down those abilities, that would suck. And Uvettel is a very fast deck, so that's honestly I think is his only problem. But if you're like you said, if you're a good player, you should be able to survive long enough to get going.
Mm-hmm.
So GG Puka, good stuff. I think that was a decent sized regional too. It wasn't like a 30-man regional, obviously.
No, it's
30-man
pretty big.
regional, he won. No wonder he went
I'm
undefeated.
guessing it's about 150 probably.
Yeah, at least. Oh, that's about it for Pokemon. Pokemon is very interesting right now. Because everyone's
A lot of decks,
yeah,
but
a
that one
decent
looks
amount
like
of
it's gonna
decks.
be
Like
copied.
Uvettel is number 1 still. Obviously, I think this deck
You can't beat
might
that
take that
thing.
throne because, it's very popular right now. So it might take that throne to be the number 1 deck because more people are going to want to play this. That Donphan deck is a very big contender still. And then
They can knock out Raichu really easily.
yeah. There's always that. And then the last deck, really, believe it or not, Genesect Virizion is still in there.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It's just not. I don't think it's being played as much because Uvettel is just like even easier. And now since this is getting popular, fuck, that could have took the spot of that. So those are still the big decks. Honestly, if you want to play competitively, those are the decks. Megas Kangaskhan Aromatisse, Donphan, Uvettel, or Genesect Virizion. Those are weird homebrew decks that like mix. Like I've seen a lot of their fairy decks that are out there, but this one definitely seems like the most competitive
That is the most competitive.
with
'cause that's-
logic behind
Like I
it.
said, answer for everything.
Yeah, it does. Man, that's cool. All right, that's about it for that. So that's Pokemon, and that'll probably be our show. I want to thank Walter Nero for joining us. Another good show indeed. Make sure you guys check out all of the socials, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the forums. MegaScorcher.com for the forums, the main phase for Twitter, and MegaScorcher's the main phase for the Facebooks. Even Aster Circles and Google Plus, but that's not relevant anymore in my opinion. Ever since the team went down to like 2 people, I'm like, well, there's no more development going on over there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we'll catch you all next week. This is episode number 90, October 26, 2014. Peace out, guys. See you all next week.
See you.
Have a good one.
Yep, have a good one. See ya.